Hi guys, so I'm making this video. Let me move so y'all don't see my air condition the whole time. But so I'm making this video because I was watching a show that I thought was really funny. I was watching this show called Catfish, and I had been catfished a couple of times. It's really funny. But I thought I'd tell one of the stories when I was catfished when I was really young. When I was about 13, I think. I was in middle school. Like, I think I was in the 7th or the 8th grade. I'm not sure. But there was this online, not online, but it was a chat line, like on the phone, and everybody in my school, you know, was always kids on there my age. So I would get on there and I would, you know, usually meet other teenagers, you know, my age, 14, 15, a little older, you know. And I met this guy, and I'm not gonna say his name. I'm gonna call him, what am I gonna call him? I'm gonna call him Kevin. His name is not Kevin, but I'm gonna call him Kevin. So I met this guy named Kevin, and you know, back then there weren't camera phones, you know, it wasn't really the internet like that. I mean, I think it was because I had a computer, but it wasn't like any sites that I knew about. It was over the phone. So I talked to, I was about to say his real name. I talked to Kevin for a long time, and I really liked him a lot. And I would be in a relationship, and you know, I'd break up, but I'd still be talking to Kevin, and it was crazy. Like, I really liked him though. So it's kind of funny. So he, you know, since there were no pictures or anything, you describe yourself. So I always tried to describe myself as honestly as I possibly could. And he described himself to me, told me he's 5'10". This is what he said: 5'10", 5'11", brown skin, afro, you know, light brown eyes, and what else did he say? Athletic build, and you know. And I described myself to him, and I was kind of afraid. I'm like, oh God, he probably won't like me if he looks like that, you know. He'll probably be like, oh, she's fucking ugly or whatever. I didn't have any self-esteem back then. So I had, you know, talked to him for a while, and I was afraid to meet him, even though I was being truthful, you know, about my looks and everything. I was so afraid to meet him. So one day I was, you know, coming home from school and everything. I was walking home from school, and I get home, and he calls me, and he is like, I saw you today. You are so pretty. And I was like, what? He said, a friend of mine know who your cousin is, and you know, he showed me you, and he was like, you're so pretty. I said, why didn't you come and talk to me? And he was like, I didn't want you to know, you know, because you was, you know, talking to your little friends, and I didn't want to, you know, bother you. And I was like, what? And so I was afraid. I'm like, oh my God, but he saw me and he liked me, you know. That's, I was getting excited. I'm like, oh, at the time he was in high school and I was still in middle school. He was 15 and I was 13. So, it wasn't that much of a big difference, but he was 15 and I was 13. So I'm laughing about it. So one day I told him, I said, maybe we should meet, because I was like, I want to meet him, and see who this person is, who I'm developing feelings for, right? So one day we were supposed to meet, and I stood around, I stood around and I was waiting for him, and I didn't see him, or what I thought was him, I did not see. So I went home and I called him. I said, where were you? And he was like, I saw you, but you looked busy. And I was like, come back, come back, stop doing that. I want to see who you are. So he came back, and so I'm walking along the way. As I'm walking, I hear somebody going, psst, 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 and I'm like, and then I hear somebody go, Harriet, and I said, who's calling my name? So I'm looking around, and when I turn my head, I see this really big black dude with this nappy ass afro, and I'm like, that can't be him, because that's not what he looked like. So I just kept walking, and he said, Harriet, and I turned around again, and I was like, now I know I ain't going crazy. Who is calling me? Who is? And I look, and I look at the big black dude. I'm like, that is not Kevin. That's not him, because that's not what he said he looked like. So I ignored him, and he called my name again and got closer. Oh, God, Mom, just leave. She's making all this noise. He got closer, calling my name, and I turned. I said, oh shit, that's him. And I started to run. I had my dog with me, mind you. I had a little Yorkie at the time, and her name was Honey. And I picked up my dog and I ran and ran, and I heard him just calling my name, and I just did not give a fuck, and I ran. And he scared the shit out of me. Like, I was completely shocked. I'm like, this motherfucker lied to me. He lied to me. And I didn't say motherfucker, because at the time I was 13. I didn't really curse like that, but I was like, he lied to me. He lied to me. So he goes home. He calls me, and he was like, why did you run? I said, you scared me. And he was like, I scared you? And I said, you lied to me. And he was like, no, I didn't. I said, you didn't tell. You told me that you were athletic build, brown skin, almost red. Okay, you are not that. Like, the person I saw was black as fuck and big as fuck. Like, you lied to me. And he was like, I did not lie to you. And I said, yes, you did. Like, you didn't look anything like, you told me. You didn't look nothing like that. And he was like, well, I'm sorry you feel like I lied to you. I said, no, I don't feel like nothing. You lied. So after that, I still talked to him, and I was still friends with him. And one day I said, you know what, I'll meet him for real. I'm not gonna run this time. I'm gonna talk to him, because I do like him over the phone. You know, he was a nice guy. So I decided to meet him again, and I met him again, and it was crazy because he came up to me and he smiled, and all I saw was like purple gums. He had like, see how, hold up, my gums are purple, I mean pink. My gums are pink. He had purple gums. His teeth were stained with like cheese or like some type of juice, like orange juice or something. And I was like, did you have something like orange to eat? And he was like, oh yeah, I was drinking juice. And I was like, right. Okay. So long story short, I ended up dating him because I did like his personality. You know, I didn't appreciate how he lied about how he looked, but I did like his personality. But we did not date for that long. We broke up, and we had a nasty breakup too. So it was, but yeah. Anyway, that was my little story of being catfished. I have another story that's a little bit more crazier, but I'll probably tell that later. But yeah, that's it. That's all I wanted to tell you guys. Hope you got a good laugh or whatever. So yeah, bye.